Hey everyone, this is Edgar with AEE Solar. I hope you're all having a good morning. Today we're going to be doing a webinar with Samlex. We're going to give us a few more minutes until everybody else can kind of join on. So maybe 2 or 3 more. Thank you for joining us, and we're excited to hear more from Samlex. All right, so good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our AEE Solar and Samlex webinar. Before I begin, I want to, introduce our speaker. We have Zach from Samlex. FYI to everybody that's attending, he will be presenting, and then we will have a Q&A session following the presentation. So you are welcome to submit your questions at any point during the webinar, but please submit them via the chat or the questions window. And then we will do our best to address those as they come in at the end. Without further ado, I'll pass it over to Zach.
Thanks, Edgar. Hey, good morning, everyone, or afternoon. I appreciate everyone being here with us today. Yeah, looking forward to a little presentation on Samlex America and one of our new products that we have already out in the market, the EVO 4248 SP. Before we jump into the presentation, Edgar, I just noticed my share my screen option is not showing on the platform. There we go.
Nice.
So I will get the PowerPoint loaded up here. There we go. All right, so Samlex America. I'm assuming everyone on the call here today is slightly familiar with who we are and what we offer. Maybe there's a few of you that that are not at all, but with dealing with AEE for numerous of years, and I'm sure you've come across our products out in the field or applications at some point. So jumping into it. So a little agenda here for today, and I guess before I go through the agenda, I will mention that at the end of this, just to kind of say thank you for everyone that's here with us today, Samlex is going to be doing a little giveaway little draw with everyone's attendees and a prize to be handed out after the fact. So I will get everyone's information and send you an email and let you know if you're the winner of that prize. Also, as Edgar did mention here already, if you have a question as we're going through, please drop it in the chat. If you have a comment, if you have something to kind of add into an application or a slide I'm on, feel free to put it in there. I'll address them as they come up if I can, and if not, I'll just address them at the end of the presentation. Okay, so agenda for today. We're going to touch a little bit on who we are as a company. We're also going to touch on our area of focus, which is off-grid and battery backup systems, as well as a few different applications that fit in these fields. After that, just want to get a little idea of everyone that's on the call, how familiar you are with the EVO line already, just to kind of help on how in depth we want to go into each different series. From there, I'm going to touch on the EVO series, the original series, our EVO F series, and then into the new product, the EVO 4248 SP. After that, I just got a few other applications just to kind of show where we fit and where our products can go, and it might not be something that you do or you're familiar with, but just to give an idea of where we all fit. And finally, I'm going to wrap it up with why Samlex. Why would you want to pick our EVO line compared to the others that are in the same market space? Okay.
Hey, Zach, real quick.
Yeah.
You mind zooming out a little bit on your presentation? Some people are having some difficulties seeing it. I don't know if it's something on the sharing window. Yeah, the only thing that's getting cut off is the Samlex logo in the title. Everything else
Is
is
it?
visible, so I think we should be fine to proceed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might need might need some support on how to zoom out. I can zoom in, but so we were just losing the top of the slide, is what you're saying.
Correct, yeah. Just the Samlex America logo and the agenda title. That's the only thing that's being cut off. Everything else, content-wise, is still visible.
Still visible. Okay. Well, yeah, there should be nothing up in the header. I apologize. I don't know if I'll be able to zoom it out, but yeah, it's just missing the Samlex logo at this point. I'll make a point to mention if there's anything at the top that we're not seeing. Okay. So getting into a little bit of Samlex America and who we are. So we are a manufacturer of power conversion products with over 30 years of experience. Just celebrated our 30th year last year. We are a stocking manufacturer of over 200 different products. We're in Canada, US, and 90 different countries kind of across the globe. I'm going to be talking today about the EVO line, which is the inverter charger, but we do carry a variety of different products that AE offers as well. So the standalone inverters, I'm sure you're familiar with our PST line, as AE has dealt with that for quite a few years, as well as our standalone SEC UL battery chargers and our accessory kits. We have converters, also in power supplies. So a variety of different products that we do offer. I will say that our inverter line also is one of the largest selections of inverter lines for standalone, and our EVO line with the addition of the 4248 is also growing in this space. So what are we going to talk about? What markets are we focusing in? So if you can't see for the top of the slide here, it says ways to live off grid. So what I want to do is just kind of separate it into different sections and kind of, when you say off grid to a customer, or you say off grid to someone that wants to buy a product, they might have different thoughts on what that means. And as Samlex, we do fit into all these different applications. So the first one might be a completely remote building, no electricity, no water, not close to anything, whether it's, a cabin or a cottage or a barn or a work site. That would be the remote building. And another application here people might think of is half on, half off. So maybe this is something where they have throw a tiny home on wheels or a van conversion, or another area it could be is a battery backup. You're connected to the grid, but there's rolling blackouts, or you just want to ensure that if power does go down, you have your emergency applications loads are still running and still good to go. Finally, modern off-grid. So this might be someone that just wants to disconnect from the grid, but still have all the conveniences of the modern day lifestyle. It might be, like say a tiny home, as a lot of them are getting fully, people are getting them all done out. It might just be a house where they want to live off grid. It might be a nice cottage where they're retreating to. So kind of different categories that people think of when they go in this space. And like I said, we do fit into all of them. So first up, remote building. So in this application here, just showing off, we got our EVO. There's kind of the power of the system. We got our solar panels coming in, charging up the battery banks as well. From there, we're going out to the grid. Maybe they're running some lights, maybe they're running some outlets, maybe it's a security system, and then we get the backup generator there to ensure that the system, no matter what, is good to go. So this application is actually something that I recently had a final end user buy a 4248 SP for. He had a cabin, remote property on the island in Victoria. He wanted to ensure when he wasn't there that his security system was still going so he could see the property, he can make sure it was still in good shape and no one was on it. He also wanted to have it set up so when he went out to enjoy the property, he had all the conveniences that he had back at his house. So that's one setup of completely off grid. Next here, we have our battery backup system. So again, this is showing the EVO. In this case, it's the 4024 in, as I'm sure most people recognize, the Midnight E panel. In this system, no solar on it, although you could include the solar a lot. Often there is in the battery backup. But I had, again, I had a customer do a very similar setup in Alaska. They just wanted to ensure that if grid goes down, because their power system is not always reliable, that no matter what, they're running, the freezer, the lights, the heating system, the pump. So just ensuring that these needed loads are still getting power. Finally, we have a representation of the modern off-grid full house, cabin, cottage. So again, we got the EVO in there, we got the solar, we have generator, and you're just running your sub panel, which is powering the entire house. All right, Edgar, I think you got a poll to drop in here.
Sure do. So everybody on this call, you should now see a window appear with a quick poll. If you don't mind completing it for us, it'd be really helpful. I'll give that about a minute for everybody on this call to submit their answers.
Perfect. Yeah, I just want to judge how familiar everyone is with our EVO line, and that way you don't have to listen to me go really in depth into all the details of every single one, or if everyone's kind of not that familiar, I can dive into it and really break down what they can do.
Well, okay, so thank you, everybody. So we got those results now. You should now see what the group responded here.
It's not displaying on my side.
My apologies. I'll go ahead and just read it out. So,
Sure.
level of understanding for the EVO series, 25% say they're completely in the green, 50% say they have some basic knowledge, 13 have some background, and another 13 are experts.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that's a good mix. So, you know what? I'll go a little more in detail on the products then, and for those of you who are experts, you can test your knowledge against mine here of the products, and those that are a little greener on it, so at least you'll get some basic understanding of what our products do and the benefits of them. All right. So just to kind of introduce it here, can you guys see the top of the video? It's just a short video. It's just kind of a quick overview of our EVOs.
Yeah, I think if you hit play, we'll be able to see it. Right now, it looks like a
Perfect.
black screen.
Yeah. There we go. All right, so hopefully everyone got to see the video there. Like I said, it's just a nice little introduction to our EVO series, just touching on a few of the kind of main features there. So from that, I'm going to dive into our original series that we came out with. So that is our EVO, 2200, 3000, and 4000 watt models in our 12 and 24 volt systems. From there, we also had same sizing, just our E versions, so for European, but they output a 230 system. So there's often applications where someone's looking for 120 or 240. So we got an EVO originally to start that fit for all of that. So these have been out for over a decade. They're a reliable, tested product that's been out in the field. After the original EVO series here, we also released an EVO F series. So what this is just a little bit of a smaller 1200 watt, 12 or 24 volt system, and it would come with either GFCIs or a hardwire option. So going into the original ones here, what are they? Well, on the video you heard, it's an inverter, it's a battery charger, it's a transfer switch. Another nice feature of our EVO lines is they have a DC input on them as well. So these ones have a 50 amp service, so you could put a 50 amp charge controller coming into them, or 4248. I'll get into the specs of that one a little bit later. So where do they fit? Well, these have a great fit in all the different off-grid applications. You've seen them in tiny homes, seen them in remote job sites, seen them in just off-grid living in a decent sized 2000 to 4000. So they fit there. We also have, I see them out in the field with running water pumps, running irrigation, running security systems. So quite a variety of applications can go with this series. Now, the reason for the F series here, they're a little bit smaller. They're also have one AC input removed, so that reduces the height to about half. So where do they fit? Well, confined spaces, fleets, trucks, stuff like that. So if you have a confined space and you need the EVO, the inverter charger, but you don't necessarily need all the watts coming out of the inverter, these are great for that. Another application we have been seeing with these is because they have a programmable battery charger in them. Often I'll get customers that need that programmable battery charger, but they don't necessarily need a large inverter. EVO 1212 and 1224 fits perfectly into that application as well. So what are some of the benefits of the original EVO line? Well, the EVOs 2000, 3000s, and 4000s, they come with two AC inputs. So you can have grid and you can have generator. They also come with an auto generator start relay. So depending on how you set up the primary load, you can have the generator come on when the battery bank gets too low, or you could have the generator as a primary load running the system, and then when the batteries are topped up, turns off the generator. They also, as I mentioned, have the DC input, and they have the remote port for their two different EVO remotes. The EVO F series, as I mentioned, is one less AC input, and again, just saves on the height of it. Anyone want any more information on these series right now? Not seen any questions pop up, so I'll move on to the remotes. So we offered two different remotes for our EVO series. The EVO RC, that was the original that works with the original series, the 2000, 3000, 4000. It has two lines of display. It will, allow you to do programming with the EVO, allows you to set the different internal battery charger profiles and settings. Allows you to change what's the primary source of power coming in as well. A nice little feature on both remotes is it has an SD card. So what can you use the SD card for? Well, it's in a log performance of the EVO while it's out in the field. So we can use that if there is an error to identify what is going on with the unit without you having to remove this 60, 70 pound unit from your application. Also the ability to, maybe it's an update, maybe it's a programming that we can do with the SD card, plug it back into the remote, have the changes made to the EVO, and the system's up and going again. Another great benefit of this is if you are doing multiple applications, multiple installs, and you need the settings of the EVO all the same, well, it gives you the ability to have one set and then clone that across all the other EVOs. So saving you setup time. From the EVO RC there, we're moving into the EVO RC Plus. So this is our new remote. It's got 4 lines of display. It's flush mount. It's a little nicer looking, installs a little cleaner, and it also works with all the EVO lines. So if you're getting the F or you're getting the 4248, you got to get the EVO RC Plus. Okay, and they're kind of the reason why we're all here for the webinar, and what we wanted to talk about is our new EVO 4248 SP. So what is it? So it's the same, EVO line, the same inverter, battery charger, transfer switch, just built into a 4200 watt, 48 VDC split phase inverter charger. Okay. So I just want to, using this screen, I just want to break down, some of the features here, some of the benefits that this one has to offer. So where does it fit? You can get this into your off-grid or your battery backup systems. So we'll start with your battery backup. So then you'd have your grid line wired into your AC input. You probably have this selected as the primary source. So this means that while grid is up, your sub panel is going to be running, your batteries are going to be charged, system is running. Then when grid goes down, it's going to switch over to its its inverter mode and run off the battery bank while still supplying 4200 watts split phase to all your different applications. Flipping over, maybe you got this in an off-grid setup, so then you're going to have your generator wired into the AC input. In this case, you might take advantage of online mode. Maybe you don't want your generator to be the primary source. You want your PV to be the primary source. So you'd set it, inverter mode's primary, generator secondary. So once the battery bank, once it drains to a certain point, the EVO is going to recognize this, and it's going to auto start the generator, charging your battery bank back up. Finally here, kind of moving over to the right where you see the solar panels coming in. As I mentioned on the other EVOs, they all had a 50 amp DC input, while the 4248 has a 100 amp DC input. So this means you can get your 100 amp charge controller in there in your larger solar array. And why would you want to connect it to the EVO there? Why would you not have your PV going right down to the battery bank? Well, a couple reasons here. A, you're going to get a little bit of a cleaner install. It's all right there. B, you're getting a little bit of monitoring happening with the EVO. It's in a, monitor itself, monitor its performance, monitor everything coming in. Also, with that monitoring, you're able to take advantage of the smart battery bank that's in there, or battery charger. So your battery bank might need a certain level of amps to charge when it's in bulk charging. Well, if your CPV is to your battery bank, then now you're getting a certain amount of amps from that. Plus, the EVO itself is going to be putting full amps in from its battery charger into that battery bank. So now maybe you're over where you want to be. If the PV is to the DC input there, so to recognize that 30 amps are coming from your solar panels. So now it only needs to add in another 30 amps to bring the system up to the 60 that it needs, or whatever the case is. So just another added feature and benefit to help monitor and improve the lifespan of your system. So what's the market benefits? You're thinking to yourself, it's great. It's a great market space, 4200 watts, 48 volts, very common. How does it stack up to other ones maybe I've used in the past, customers are asking for? So just a few different features here. First one I mentioned, AC input, whether it's grid or generator, we have the status relay for the generator for the auto gen start. Another feature here, which you won't find in others, is the DC input at the 100 amps. So as I mentioned, put the charge controller there. Also the online mode. What does that mean? Well, you can select what's the primary power source here, PV, generator, grid. Surge. So this is going to surge up to 3 times. Also is going to have overload allowances or active power boost. So what does that mean? Well, if your loads, your application demands a little extra from the EVO for a certain period of time, it can handle those over allowances. So, it can go 120% for 30 minutes and 150% for, I believe, 5. So it is there to ensure that you're getting the power you need without the system just shutting down for the overload. Another thing is the inverter. I want to talk about when it's not being used, the power draw. So once you're sitting there idle, less than 30 watts. When it's in power saving mode, less than 5 watts. So again, you're not draining your batteries while it's just sitting there waiting to be used. Another feature here is the battery charger. So as I mentioned, it is completely programmable. The 4248 is 0 to 60 amps, 3 to 4 stage charging, and it can handle lithium, flooded, AGM, gel battery banks. What's nice about that is, you can really set the charger to line up with the battery that you are using, and this programmability comes with getting the remote, the RC Plus. Another one, built-in transfer switch. So it is offering the 40 amp transfer switch in there. And because it is split phase, this is 120, 240 that you can pull out of it at 4200 watts continuous. Finally, another feature here, bulletproof intelligence. What does that mean? Well, it has 9 physical points of protection. You know, it's monitoring itself 10,000 times a second. It's set up that if something goes wrong in the system, it's going to recognize and it's going to shut itself down to protect the system, to protect the unit. Okay, so just as I mentioned before, we've got different customers that have been using the EVOs in the field for over a decade here, and Rod from Nevada is giving a nice testimonial, and he's using his Samlex EVO for his system, for his off-grid system. You know, he's running everything he needs, and he's not having any issues with it at all. Just another example of off-grid living. And then these are kind of the other power sources or applications I was talking about. So it might not be something that you guys deal with, it might be something that you're familiar on. So this would be drop site power. So using our EVO to supply power to your CCAN, supply some surveillance, maybe it's a mobile work trailer, maybe it's just a remote job site that you're going to. We've had them used for remote sawmills. I've had them used just for remote yards, barns, greenhouses. Another kind of setup on that as well. All right, so coming around to it, why Samlex? Well, it's a few things that we offer to help support you when you're dealing with our products. So we're an experienced manufacturer, like I said, we've been in here in the market for over 30 years. Quality products, less than a 1% failure rate on the EVOs. And I do want to say, you know, we got the full support team as well. So if you experience a failure or you experience an issue with the product, you can reach out to us directly. We have a customer success team. We have a tech team to support. We have a warranty team. When you call, you're going to get a live person. It's not going to go through to a phone tree. You'll be able to speak to someone right away. So what does this mean? This means that we're able to handle your inquiry, handle the issue right away, which is great because often people are out in the field, they're relying on this for power. They need to get helped out. Another thing is we're a one-stop shop for all your power needs. As I mentioned earlier, we carry over 200 different products. You might be familiar in the off-grid with the PST, the SEC, the EVO, but as I said, we do carry converters, we do carry smaller solar panels, different accessories, live tech support, online tools. So another nice feature that we offer is, you know, if you go to our website, samlexamerica.com, there's a lot of online tools. All of our product specs, product manuals are up there. There's how-to videos. There's other resources and testimonials. There's also a runtime calculator, which is just kind of nice for, you know, people when they're planning out their system and they're thinking about what do I want, what do I need. Well, they can use the runtime calculator to decide their inverter needs and then submit a where to buy. Nice thing about that is when they go through the system, where to buy pops up, we'll reach out to them. We help them figure out the product that they need and pass it back down through AEE. Another thing here, fast and responsive customer service. So again, just touching on, it's a live person when you call, it's not a phone tree. So other reasons for Samlex I want to mention is I'm here to help out. So if you need product knowledge, product questions, you're unsure if this is going to work in the application, you can reach out to me direct and we can discuss the products. I'm sure a lot of you have probably dealt with Brad at AEE. You can reach out to him. He's very knowledgeable. He can help you out as well. But yeah, we're here to support. So any question at all, feel free to contact me. And yeah, I'll be there to help. All right. So that's the presentation here, guys. I think I cut it a little short, but we can jump into any questions and address those.
Perfect. Thank you, Zach, for that. We do have a few questions, so I'll go ahead and start reading those out to you and get some responses. So the first one is, Does the inverter combine both generator and battery power for larger loads?
Uh,
That's a reference to the EVO.
Gotcha. Yes. So the answer to that is no. You're gonna be pulling when you're pulling out of the inverter, you're pulling out what it is rated for. Now, if you get the 4200 watt inverter, that is continuous. You can run 4200 watts continuous on it. Same with all the others, 1200, 2000, 3000. But you're not able to have the additional generator pass through the EVO and get both.
Perfect. Okay. The next one is, where is the inverter made?
Perfect. So the EVO line is manufactured, the factory is in Taiwan, so that's where it's made. But we are the manufacturer. We do own the products, so the EVO is ours. But yes, it is produced in Taiwan.
Thank you. The next one is, can you have a 120 volt generator input and still get a 240 volt output?
Good question on the 4248. So the answer to that is no, but you can put a 120 in and you will get 2100 watts out. You're gonna get half the power from the system and it will function the same way. It will do everything it needs to, but you are just getting the half power there. It does need the two hots in the neutral there, the three lines. On the flip side though, if you're pulling from the inverter mode and you're pulling from your 48 volt battery bank, you will be getting your full power from the 4200 watts.
Sweet. Okay. And then the last one I show here is the live tech support based in the US? And follow up to that one as well is, when you type in your questions into the database, is it just like a reading a response?
Okay, so to address the first one, we are actually located in Burnaby, BC, just outside of Vancouver. For those of you that aren't familiar, that is everything's in-house. So we're all here in Burnaby. So there is some time issues there. I understand East Coast to West Coast, but if you do, you do call in and we're not in the office, we do have people that will answer the phone. They will take the message down and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. As far as typing in the questions, maybe they can clarify if they're talking about the where to buy or.
I think they're asking like, is it like a database of already pre-answered, like if I have a question, I could just type in a general thought.
Frequently asked questions.
Yes.
Not on the where to buy system. If you submit that, it's just it's an inquiry, it's an email that comes through. We'll respond to it that day. There is some resources on the website on our how-tos and setting different things up and programming. We just had a video go up there on programming your EVO with the remote. So those do address some of the frequently asked questions. Resources page on the samlexamerica.com.
Perfect. Okay. I believe we've answered all the questions that's been submitted so far, so I think we'll conclude there. Thank you, Zach, again for coming and joining us. It was really informative, and we really appreciate your time. Check out our website for more training opportunities with AE Solar. Have a great day, you guys, and thank you for doing business with us.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone being here, and yeah, thanks for the time to allow me to talk about the EVOs.
Thank you. And just as an FYI too, the recording of this webinar will be included on our YouTube channel if you ever want to follow up in the future. Thank you again, you guys.